When we talk about obsession with success, it cannot exist without clarity. You cannot pursue what you cannot see. Too many people live their lives chasing vague dreams, hoping success will somehow fall into their lap. That's like setting out on a journey without a destination. You'll keep moving, but you'll never arrive. The first and most critical step is to define what success truly means to you. Not what your parents told you it should be. Not what society glorifies on magazine covers or social media feeds. Your definition, your personal vision. Because obsession only takes root when it is deeply personal. Clarity is power. It's the compass that directs every thought, every decision, every sacrifice. If your idea of success is foggy, then your actions will be scattered, and scattered actions never lead to extraordinary results. The human mind works on the principle of attraction. It gravitates toward what it constantly pictures. When you define success in vivid detail, you're programming your subconscious mind to recognize opportunities and resources that align with that vision. This isn't just philosophy, it's psychology. What you hold in your mind repeatedly becomes the blueprint for your actions. But let me challenge you. When was the last time you sat down and wrote exactly what you want your life to look like in 5 years? Not just a casual thought, but a clear picture. Where you live, what you drive, who you are becoming, the impact you're making. Most people don't do this. They drift through life reacting instead of creating. And drifting never produces greatness. You have to make success so specific that when you close your eyes, you can feel it, smell it, taste it. That's when your obsession begins. When the picture in your mind becomes more real than the circumstances around you. This clarity doesn't come in a moment. It requires reflection and honesty. You'll need to strip away borrowed dreams, silence the noise of comparison, and ask yourself, what do I truly want? What does success mean to me? Not to them, not to the world, but to me. That question is the starting point of every empire, every revolution, every personal transformation in history. If you fail to define success, you will spend your life achieving someone else's dream. But if you dare to define it for yourself, you give birth to the obsession that makes anything possible. Desire is where it all begins. But not just any desire. A fleeting wish or a passing interest will never create greatness. The world is full of people who want to be successful, yet only a handful ever get there. Why? Because their desire lacks intensity. It's soft, it's conditional, it's negotiable. The truth is, success only bows to who possess an unshakable, burning desire. A desire so strong that it dominates your thoughts, shapes your decisions, and directs your energy. This is not a polite interest, it is an obsession that becomes a ruling passion. Think about it, every breakthrough in history, every invention, every empire, every fortune. It all began with someone who refused to accept life as it was. They wanted something so badly that no obstacle, no setback, no ridicule could stop them. And here's the psychological truth your mind operates on what you feed it most. If your desire is weak, you will surrender at the first sign of difficulty. But when your desire is a burning obsession, your mind begins to organize every resource, every idea, every ounce of energy toward its achievement. It's as if the universe itself starts bending in your favor, but only after you commit so deeply that failure is no longer an option. Now, how do you develop that kind of desire? You start by making your goal so vivid, so emotionally charged, that it becomes the center of your mental universe. You cannot afford to think of it casually. You must think of it constantly. Speak it, write it down, picture it every day. Feel the emotions of already having it. The stronger the emotional connection, the deeper the desire. Because here's the truth, logic does not create obsession. Emotion does. And when your heart is on fire for something, your mind will find the way to make it real. But understand this, a burning desire is not comfortable. It will disrupt your routines. It will demand sacrifice. It will make people question you, doubt you, even laugh at you. And that is the price of obsession, because the alternative is mediocrity. So I leave you with this: if your dream does not keep you awake at night, if it does not consume your thoughts during the day, then it is not yet strong enough to change your life. Build a desire so intense that nothing can extinguish it, and success will have no choice but to bow to your will. Once your desire has taken root, the next step is to make it real in your mind before it becomes real in your hands. Every achievement begins twice, first in thought, then in reality. This is not imagination for entertainment, this is visualization for creation. The mind cannot distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is physically experienced. When you see your success so clearly that it feels tangible, you activate the deepest layers of your subconscious to start moving toward that reality. Most people underestimate this principle because they believe it sounds mystical or fanciful. But it's not. It's practical psychology. The dominant images in your mind dictate the quality of your decisions, the consistency of your actions, and even the opportunities you notice. If your mental picture is unclear or polluted with doubt, your behavior will reflect that uncertainty. But if your mind is saturated with a definite, vivid vision, it becomes almost impossible to act in contradiction to it. You begin to think, speak, and behave like the person you see in that vision. That is the secret to transformation. Now, visualization is not just about seeing, it's about feeling. If all you do is watch a mental movie, you're missing the real power. You must involve your senses, your emotions, your entire being. When you visualize your success, ask yourself, what does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like to stand there having achieved it? When you attach emotion to the image, you create what psychologists call a dominant thought pattern, one that overrides fear, doubt, and distraction. Do this daily. Repeat it until the image becomes so familiar that it feels inevitable. At that point, your subconscious mind begins working like a magnet, drawing resources, ideas, and connections that align with your vision. People call this luck or coincidence, but it is neither. It is the law of cause and effect working in harmony with your mental state. And here's the most profound part. You will never rise above the picture you hold of yourself in your mind. If that picture is small, your achievements will be small. But if that picture is vast, powerful, and uncompromising, your life will expand to meet it. So remember this: the world you see around you is a reflection of the world you create within you. Visualize boldly, feel deeply, and hold that vision until the universe has no choice but to make it real. The environment you choose will shape the limits of your ambition. No matter how strong your desire is, no matter how vivid your vision becomes, if you surround yourself with people who think small, speak in terms of limitations, and live in constant fear, it will infect you. Thoughts are contagious. Spend enough time with those who believe something is impossible, and you will start to doubt whether it's possible for you. That is why those who rise to greatness guard their associations as carefully as their most valuable possessions. You cannot afford to share your dreams with everyone, because not everyone has the capacity to understand them. Some people will criticize what they can't comprehend. Others will project their failures onto you. If you absorb their negativity, even unconsciously, your obsession will begin to weaken. This is not about arrogance. It is about protecting the mental soil where your success is being planted. Now think about this principle from a psychological perspective. Human behavior is driven largely by social conditioning. The beliefs and attitudes of the people closest to you will slowly become your own. If you want to develop an obsession for success, you need to be in an environment where success is normal, where ambition is not ridiculed but respected, where discipline is celebrated, and where big thinking is the standard. This doesn't always mean you will find these people in your immediate circle. You may have to seek them out, sometimes even at the cost of temporary loneliness. But that price is small compared to the cost of staying in a circle that keeps you average. The great thinkers and achievers of history understood this truth. The right association can ignite your mind like a spark to dry wood. When you spend time with those who are driven, who speak possibility into every conversation, who challenge you to think bigger, something changes inside you. Your own limits begin to dissolve. You start to adopt their energy, their habits, their mindset. This is the power of proximity. So ask yourself tonight, who do you allow to influence your thoughts? Are they lifting you up or pulling you down? Because success is rarely a solo journey, but it is always a selective one. Choose carefully, because the company you keep will either feed your obsession or starve it. Surround yourself with greatness until greatness becomes your new normal. The moment you decide to pursue something great, life will test you. Challenges will appear, doors will close, and people will doubt you. This is not a sign that you're on the wrong path. It's proof that you're on the right one. Every worthwhile dream comes wrapped in obstacles, and those obstacles are not there to defeat you, they are there to refine you. They exist to separate the interested from the obsessed. When setbacks hit, most people retreat. They tell themselves the timing wasn't right, or maybe they weren't meant to have it. That's the language of the ordinary. The extraordinary see obstacles differently. They see them as fuel. They take every failure, every rejection, and every delay and use it to strengthen their resolve. Why? Because they understand that nothing of value comes without resistance. A mountain is not climbed by wishing it away. It is conquered by persistent, deliberate steps, one after another, no matter how steep the slope becomes. Here is the psychological reality. When you reframe obstacles as lessons instead of barriers, your mind shifts from frustration to growth. Adversity becomes a teacher. Every challenge forces you to think differently, to innovate, to toughen your spirit. Without these trials, success would not transform you. It would only decorate you, and decoration fades. Transformation endures. Let me ask you this. What would happen if every time someone doubted you, instead of shrinking, you allowed that doubt to ignite your determination? What if every failure became evidence, not of your weakness, but of your progress? The ones who win are not those who never fail. They are the ones who refuse to stay down. They have an inner voice that says, "This will not break me. This will build me." So when the road becomes difficult, and it will, do not curse the difficulty. Embrace it. Let it mold you into the kind of person capable of holding the success you're chasing. Because success will never come to someone who quits at the first sign of struggle. It belongs to the one who keeps walking through the storm, knowing the sun is still on the other side. Remember this: the obstacle is not the enemy. It is the gateway. Those who have the courage to push through it are the ones who earn the right to stand at the top. Let every setback be a stepping stone, not a stopping point. Obsession without execution is nothing more than a dream, and dreams alone do not pay the price of success. You can define your vision with precision. You can desire it with every fiber of your being. You can picture it so vividly that it feels real, but unless you act consistently, relentlessly, it will remain an illusion. The world does not reward what you think about, it rewards what you do. And that is where the true test of obsession lies, in your ability to translate thought into motion day after day without compromise. Action is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, yet most people hesitate to cross it. They wait for the perfect plan, the perfect moment, the perfect conditions. But perfection never arrives. The successful understand that progress loves speed. They act even when the plan is imperfect, because they know momentum creates clarity. Each step forward reveals the next. Those who sit and analyze endlessly remain prisoners of their own overthinking, while those who move boldly become masters of their destiny. Now, let's talk about the psychology of this. Every time you act, you reinforce your belief in your ability to achieve. Action builds confidence, and confidence fuels even greater action. It becomes a self-sustaining cycle. Conversely, every time you delay, you weaken that belief. Procrastination doesn't just steal time, it erodes faith, and faith, is the foundation of all achievement. The truth is, relentless action requires sacrifice. It will demand your time, your comfort, your excuses. It will mean early mornings when others are sleeping and late nights when others are celebrating. But remember this: temporary sacrifice is the price for permanent success. If you are unwilling to pay that price in effort, then you have no right to complain about the results you never earned. Do not confuse movement with progress. Being busy is not the same as being productive. Every action you take must align with your vision. Ask yourself constantly, this is what I'm doing now bringing me closer to the life I see in my mind? If the answer is no, stop doing it. The obsessed do not waste time, they invest it. So let me leave you with this: the world doesn't remember those who merely intended. It remembers those who acted. Start today. Start small if you must, but start. Because the future you desire will only belong to the version of you that moves.